So here we go. So good morning, everybody. First Tuesday of the month. Just kind of open up to ideas, just a mastermind concept. Just anybody and everybody can throw out some things, questions, comments. We'll just get a good discussion going. Things that are working, things that we're trying to get work, what we're seeing with the market, all kinds of stuff here. So we'll just kind of play around with a little bit, kind of see where it goes. We'll have more and more people joining us here as time goes on. If you're watching this recording, or if you later on, or if you come on here and you're not with EXP, you're always welcome. Do this every Tuesday morning, open to all agents, all companies, anywhere. If you're any EXP agents, you can invite people to this all the time. Every Tuesday, we don't talk EXP at all. It's just a great way to add some value to people. So anyway, let's kick things on. Kathy, I'm going to turn it over to you. I got to look up a couple things here real quick. Go ahead. Okay.
All righty. So why don't we start off with, what are you guys, here we are at the end of the first quarter. So how is your first quarter rolled this year? I'd love to hear kind of what y'all are seeing in your marketplace with inventory. And are y'all, I've been talking to some people that are still in multiple offers. We are not quite that way here in Nashville anymore. It depends on the property, but yeah, let's start off with that. How's everybody's first quarter gone, and what are y'all seeing in the market so far?
I'll chime in.
Awesome.
Sorry. You know what? Amazing first quarter. Really, really good, productive, busy first quarter for me. We are starting to head back into that multiple offer situation scenario a little more than we were 60 days ago. So definitely picking up with that spring traffic, I think. Kind of telling my clients right now, the longer you wait, the more you're going to be kind of in that situation again. I don't think we're going to see what we saw last year with 20, 30, 50,000 above. But yesterday, even I did one, I got 3 offers on a house in a little community that's not, the population of people that buy in there isn't huge. So it's happening again for sure.
Nice.
But that's
what price point?
Montana in a nutshell. That one was 420.
420. And is that kind of y'all's average price around there?
Yeah, we're hovering in there, high 3s. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. And anything truly under 4 that's good is going pretty quickly. People are starting to we're doing a lot of 2-1 buy downs here with our lenders. So we're starting to see that really kind of get the word out. People are starting to utilize those a little more to help them get in with those lower interest rates. So yeah.
Nice.
Kind of what's going on in Montana.
What are you seeing in your market? How's your first quarter gone?
Sorry, was you asking me?
Yeah, either one. Yeah, how has your market been up there the first quarter in business, and what are you seeing in your marketplace?
Basically, inventory is still pretty low. Had some closings with past clients, people reaching back out. We really do focus on having past client events. So that's been huge. We had 7 houses under contract, and all 7 of them were past clients. So I think if you stay in touch with your past clients, they will never forget you. And so I just want to challenge you all to find ways of doing that. Start off with a housewarming party when you sell them a house, get to meet their close title company, the home warranty rep. Don't ever let money be the reason you don't have a party. Just really make it about your clients though. And then do 2 past client parties and invite people different ways. We invite people with send out cards. We invite them with video through KV Core. We invite them on Facebook. They've been invited 3 different times. The ones that come, we send them a picture on a card and we tell them, thanks for coming. Hope you had have a great Christmas and a happy new year. Keep us in mind for any referrals. The ones that don't come, they get a card with pictures of the event. Hey, we missed you at our Christmas party or our cookout. Hope you have a happy new year. Hope you had a great Christmas. Those kinds of things. If you don't lose touch with your past clients, you will be their realtor for life. If you never follow back up, someone else will become their realtor.
So you do a Christmas event and a cookout in the summer?
Yep. And also get some of my local businesses to come and give something away. I
What
want
do
to
you give away typically? Do they give gift cards or what do you typically give away?
I like to try to give something house related that they're going to want to use in the home. That way, every time they use it, they're going to think of you or that business. So like, you know, one of the title companies that we work with, they brought an air fryer. We give away all kinds of random things. We have welcome home signs that they can put up by their front door. We had a grand prize. It was like, out of anyone that bought a house with us in the last year was entered to win that. And then we drew the winner at the party. And it was for 2 people to go on a charter out on Lake Erie, and they could go fish. And the couple that won was so excited. Their son is a big, like, he's a fishing enthusiast, and he's super excited about it. And it was so cute. They posted a Facebook Live on Facebook and said, "Thank you so much, Sean Jessica Richardson, for this." And they did a live video having their son open the gift. And it was this big box, and then it went down to a small box, and then there was the gift certificate. And I guess they paid a little bit extra for his uncle to go with them. But really just be that person that connects them with other businesses. Anytime you're connecting people with other real estate related businesses, you're going to win, because they're going to remember you when someone needs a realtor.
Nice. I love it. I love the idea. I love what you're doing with send out cards too, how you're taking pictures at the event. And then I assume you're taking pictures with each of the party, you know, each of the guests. And then you're putting a picture of you and the guests or just them themselves on the front of the card, and then sending, you know, that personalized follow-up note.
Yeah, I also utilize that to stay in touch with them just as a regular. It doesn't always have to be real estate related, guys. We're in a relationship business. So don't think of it as real estate. It's not always about buying and selling. It's about people. And so if you see they had a baby, or they just got a new dog, or they lost a loved one. I had a client lose her grandma, and I grabbed that picture and sent her a card and just said, you know, wanted you to know I was thinking about you. If you need anything, I'm always here. You know, simple as that. And she sent me a message, and she's like, "Sean, I got kind of emotional when I got that. Thank you so much for this card. That meant the world to me." I mean, it's a relationship business.
So you took the picture of the grandma or whatever she posted on Facebook and plopped it on the card and send it to, you know, very personalized, you know, which is, you know, in a situation like that, people get all the sympathy cards, but how many times would you get a card with the image of, you know, the loved one on the card, or whatever it is that you chose to post on Facebook, right? That picture when you're, you know, commenting, you know, about the loss of them. But yeah, I love that. Send out cards is great. So if y'all don't know about send out cards, that's a good way to stay in touch with people on a more personalized basis.
We also use that to every anniversary, whether it be their first year, second year, third, fifth, you name it. We're sending them a house anniversary card. And, you know, so they get that in the mail. We usually put the picture when they closed on the house, whether it be at the title company or in front of the house. We'll put that on the front of the card. We'll put a couple brownies in it. And a lot of times my clients that Jess and I have will put a post on Facebook. We have the best realtor. Just got a post from someone I sold a house to 5 years ago. Haven't seen her since selling the house, but she put a post on Facebook. "I have the best realtor. He just sent me this house anniversary card with a box of brownies." And I mean, really, guys, you're building your referral. People will start referring you more and more business by you keeping in touch. It's not about, and that, by the way, the brownies in the card, $10. That's a very simple, cheap follow-up. We do that the first of each month. We just go into Enterprise. You can search your past deals per year. So like, for instance, when this month kicked off, you search, you know, the sales from last April, the year before that, and you can go back easily, find your clients. And here's another idea. People that weren't your clients, but you had the listing, put them on the house anniversary list and send them a card and just put happy house anniversary, have a picture of the house on the card, because you probably paid for pictures. So you have this beautiful twilight photo, put it on the card. 83% of agents don't follow up with their past clients. So you can basically become their listing agent when they decide to list in the future.
So how do you get their address? These are the people you had it listed. So these are the people moving. How do you know where what their new address is?
Well, that was the house that you had listed. So, you know, you listed 123 Main Street, you represented the seller. They now think of you as a listing agent. Their buyer's agent probably hasn't followed up with them.
I gotcha.
So it's the same exact address that you had.
Yeah, I
listed.
got you. I got you now. Yeah.
So that's something we just started doing. I read that in Nolly Williams' book. So I figure he knows what he's talking about. I love that idea.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a great tip. Yeah. So what are y'all doing? Let's stay on this topic for a minute. What is everybody else doing? Those are some great ideas. And it is all about nurturing your past people. Like, Sean said, and we've all heard it, that have been in business for a while. 83% of the people, like the stats that they do, or the survey they do every year, it's like a high percentage of of buyers and sellers would use their realtor again, but a small percentage, like you said, 83% don't. And it's because we as agents don't stay in touch with them. So it's critical, it doesn't matter if you're brand new, you can start the practice now. Doesn't matter if you've been in business for a long time and you haven't been doing it, start the practice now, right? Same thing. So I'd love to hear from, Sean Corbett or Chris, any of you guys that, have been around a little bit. What do y'all do to nurture and stay in front of your past clients?
So this year, you guys, I started something new. Because of course, that top, 20%, 25%, we tend to nurture a little bit more, knowing that those are our strongest referral sources. And so what I did this year is I expanded, because I was always sending like a monthly touch of some sort, be a postcard or whatever, to kind of all my past clients. And so I switched that this year to something a little more personalized. I'm actually doing, it's through Reminder Media. It's actually a magazine. So that goes out to all my past clients. It's great. It has your picture on the front, sponsored by, there's relevant information. You're providing something of value. You choose some recipes. So that's kind of fun. Really good feedback on that for the last couple issues that have gone out to everyone. And then, a couple times a year, I am doing with, again, that top 20, 25% of my past clients that are my strongest referrals. I'm doing pop buys. And so I'm just getting ready to do a spring one. Those are always really well received. It provides me an opportunity when I get that, hey, thanks for stopping by, just to kind of start that conversation, with their continued support. So those are things that I'm using to stay in touch that have been very well received.
Nice.
Good. Sean, I saw you unmute yourself there too. What are you up to with this?
I don't do anything. They just call me. No, I'm just kidding. I do stay in front. I do try to stay in front of everybody. I've shared some of this before. I've got a few things that I use. I tend to be a little bit more, automated. I think my gifts are solving real estate problems, not so much the fluffy part of the business. So I use HomeBot. I think it's a pretty clever, inexpensive option. I think it costs me $25 a month, and it has some really clever information for past clients that have closed with you, bought a house through you. It gives them information on the RBO on their house, which is kind of fascinating to think about, as an exit strategy. It talks about a HELOC program, what it could do, or how to maybe cash out refi and then buy another investment type property with that cash out refi. It puts things for them to think about, not just a market value, but you have this much equity. This is what you could do. And the one that actually pays for HomeBot is a lender partner, because it's a little bit more leveraged for them, because they get a little bit more benefit. I think that's a great product. I got turned on to it actually because it was an old lender that closed me back in 2008. And he kept his old database of clients he closed and just threw them all into there. And I started getting these HomeBot things from Wade, the lender partner, or the lender that did my loan. And I was like, man, there's some good information in here. It's pretty clever. And it took me, as a realtor 12 years later before I finally even just signed up for it, to actually benefit my clients. So
Sean, is that the one where you get and it shows like what your value of your home is? Is that the HomeBot?
It does, it does do that, but it also tells you other things for people to get their mind around, what they could do with that equity. Or and I think it has a short-term rental evaluation tool in there, so you can kind of it just stretches your mind on what you can do with your house.
Yeah.
It's funny because I'm in the real estate business, and I know a lot of agents that are friends of mine, and they'll sell their house and they're in their 30s. And I don't understand that. You know, I don't understand, like, why not leverage every possible home you have if you're in this business? Like, keep it. Managing property is not that difficult.
Yeah.
You know, so that really changed my mind when I started kind of thinking through, what does it look like when you're paid 5 ways on a house? So that's why I started building all these inventory of homes. But, you know, you don't think this way in general. You only see, well, I need to live in it X number of years. I need to make X number of equity out of it, and I need to sell it. That's the only way people think, you know. And like I said, even realtors think that way. I think when it stretches your mind and you realize that you can leverage that equity to do a lot of things, especially if you've got time, it just helps them kind of rethink. So HomeBot's been a good staying in front of people, easy way to stay in front of them. I set it up 3 months ago, and I checked my Monday list, and I had 13 of my past clients get on there and check out their home, you know, and it tells me every Monday, you know. And they're past clients that some of them I met at an open house. Like, I don't have a relationship with them. I just sold them a house, and then I try to stay in front of them. And a girl named Sally, she's on there checking out her house every single week. And I only met her, like I said, I only know her for about an hour of time at an open house, and probably 30 minutes. I showed her one house, we won it, and moved on, you know. And I don't have a relationship with her. So she's in there checking, and I'm the one that's providing her that information.
So do you follow, so when you see somebody checking that often, do you follow up and, you know, just either be direct and just say, hey, I noticed you're, you know, checking, you know, your value out and looking at the information, or just follow up and, you know, kind of just act like you're following up? And
no, I don't have a built-in system yet. Right now, I'm going to rebuild my entire SOI, and I want to teach on SOI. I keep watching you guys do this. I've got questions for Sean Richardson. He's got some real clever ways to stay in front of people. You know, as embarrassing as it is, right? I've done this for so long. You know, I tell everyone, bring your people. If they want to buy houses, I'll help you close a house. But, you know, we're talking like a group of 10 or 15 is what they're talking to. You know, they need to build an SOI of like 1,000, right? I mean, we need to have an effective spreadsheet of quality, highest opportunities for us to do referrals on people, you know, right? I mean, we all know this, you know. So it's either referrals or they either like, they love, or they want to help us in one way or another. And if you can get them to connect us with somebody and effectively stay in front of them, that's something that I'm building right now. HomeBot is just a tool to stay in front of people. If I really built an effective system, I'd call them and say, hey, I was just thinking about you. I didn't know if you knew this, but they're building a new X in your subdivision or whatever. I mean, come up with a reason to call and talk to them.
Yeah.
You know, I just haven't talked to you in a while. I know that, you know, we met at an open house, whatever the conversation is. And I wouldn't even necessarily approach it as, hey, I know you're looking at my emails. You know,
Yeah.
I would rather make it a little bit more relational. I think that's going to be more effective.
Yeah.
The other thing that I do to stay in front of people is EvaBot. I know I've brought that up before. I think it's a clever gift giving opportunity. I've heard of Client Giant, very similar.
What is that one called you just said?
EvaBot is an automated gift giving system. It basically, at the time of closing, you can set a budget, and then that budget will allow them to pick out items and things that would be of value to them. It kind of gives them a fun text interview and says, do you like alcohol? Do you like coffee? Do you like animals? Do you like sports? And it kind of gets a profile of what their real interests are. And then EvaBot will find gifts that fit their profile based on the budget that I set, you know.
Oh.
So on new home closings, you know, depending on how much the house is generally kind of where I'd start my range. You can go, you could do $30. I mean, it's not a big deal. Or you can go up to like 250, 500,000. You can get a pretty nice sized budget. And then it will mail them custom gifts in your marketing material box information. You know, it comes from me. I'm True West Realty Group, and it sends it with the marketing information to the client. Looks like it comes from me, and it's specialty gifts that that's of interest to them. I do that for home anniversary. I know Sean was talking about how your relationship if you can do things that are not specifically about real estate, but it's based on our relationship, like a home anniversary is a really good way to do that because that's how we are connected, then that's a great place to start. So I send home anniversary gifts. I don't do Christmas. I don't do Thanksgiving. I try not to do birthdays. Just from my standpoint, I feel like everyone's kind of reaching out there. I want to do something that's based on our relationship. The only reason why I would do birthdays is if I sold their house and they didn't buy one through me, right? Because now they don't have a new home. They might be renting. They might have moved out of state. Then I'll do the birthday then. And then EvaBot can do birthdays. And the way I do birthdays is I said, what's better than getting a gift on your birthday is getting a gift a week before your birthday, right? And then I'll send them what they like because they determine what they like a week before their birthday. I do that with every one of my past clients as well.
How do you spell the name of that company?
It's EVABOT.
Okay.
Yeah. EvaBot's a good option. I can send you a link to it. I think they might send me, $100 or something. So EvaBot is one option. Another one, some of you may use Client Giant, very similar type of opportunity. I know someone else that they swear by it. It doesn't matter. I would recommend everyone do some type of touch gift giving system. Just use it, right? I mean, that's really what it's all about. I don't know if either one of them is better than the other, but I use EvaBot like crazy and I'm consistent with it. I stay in front of it. I've done that for about 3 years. I probably spend about $300 to $400 a month on gifts through EvaBot, based on my clientele and my range of gifts and things like that. To me, the 3,000 to 4,000 a year, staying in front of everyone connected that way. I get texts back, hey, thanks for that. I really appreciate it. It's just a way to stay in front of people. It's not the most highest connection, but it stays in front of them. I think still a phone call or something real personalized is going to beat, something more systematized. But I tend to systematize things just because I want to create scalability.
Yeah.
That's always a big thing for me. So that's two tips, EvaBot and
let me ask everybody a question who's willing to share. When you're buying gifts for clients, what do you set your budget? I know it. I've heard a couple of you mention it's based on the price of the house, right? So who would be open to share, like, okay, if their house is up to this much, I kind of spend about this much. If it's, this much to this much, I spend this much. And do you give it at the closing table or do you show up, the day after they move or a week after they move? Like, how are you giving the gifts? And have you tested different ones and found one to be more effective than another? So I'm curious to hear what y'all are doing with those things.
I mean, we've turned ours, we've been starting to do like the housewarming parties, which again is something I got from listening to all this. We just did one last Friday, and here's this young couple. I mean, that ended up being our closing gift to them. Like we put on, we give them about they said about 3 weeks out. So they're moved in, they're settled in. And then, my wife, she put it all together with a lender that they used and brought in, did a taco bar, had all kinds of stuff. They had 40 people there. And I think she's had 2 coffees this week from people that were at that event, So, I mean, it's definitely going to lead to more business, but they were thrilled. I mean, they sent us a thank you card with a, gift card in it to go out to dinner. I mean, the couple that they gave us a gift, like a thank you gift for putting on their housewarming party. So
you have people sign in there and, send follow-up notes.
We didn't know that's maybe an idea, but we didn't do that. We had a page that we put together, just kind of, thanking everybody for coming, and whatever, showing a couple things that we do and, things that we're offering like this summer, just some incentives if they know anybody looking to buy or sell. And then we had on there, we do support Sell a Home, Save a Child and Fellowship of Christian Athletes. So we put that on there as well. Like every home purchased or bought with us or sold with us, there's a donation made there. And just had that with our cards. And, everybody took one of those, as they were leaving. What they do with it, it's up to them. But we did put on there and now, that we'll definitely give something. We'll give a gift card away. If we get a referral from somebody after closing, we'll give them a gift card. as a thank you for sending them to us. Obviously outside of the deal, after the fact, whatever, but we do that for everybody. And people love that idea. I mean, so,
So I heard a great idea a couple weeks ago, and I don't think it was on one of our calls. I don't remember where I heard this. And I don't remember the exact things that they did, but after closing this, whoever was sharing this, and I can't remember where I heard it, but they have a system where they do something right after closing. I think they just get them a gift. They might even get a house cleaning for them. It was something like that. A month after, they let them know that their handyman is going to be contacting them, and they give them 2 hours. I know now that you're in your house, you probably found a few little things that, could get worked on. And I just wanted to let you know that my handyman is going to be reaching out to you, and I paid for 2 hours worth of his work for you. So take advantage of that. And then they do a 6-month follow-up, hope you're enjoying your house, hope you've gotten all settled. I have arranged for a driver to come take you to dinner where, let's pick a night to wherever you want to go. Let's celebrate now that you're all settled in. And, drinks and alcohol, they pay for it all. Drinks, alcohol, they don't even put a budget on it. And so I thought that was a great idea. Like, who does that, right? Like both of those things. I loved both of those ideas. I'd probably want to limit a little bit, I think, on the driver and the pickup and what have you. And maybe that's more for a higher end client, but they do it for every client. They did it for every client. And so I was like, both of those ideas I thought were fantastic.
It's really good. I like that one too.
Yeah.
Go to a nice restaurant somewhere.
Yeah.
Friday, Saturday.
They didn't go, obviously the realtor didn't go along. They just, did it as a, hey, hope you're settled in, we've got this arranged for you. And then they let them coordinate with the driver, and then the night that's best for them and how it all works. And what I didn't get the answer to, and I was thinking later, is how do they pay for that? How do they pay that with the restaurant? That's the only question I had.
I call them that night, maybe, and I don't know. Give them a
yeah, maybe have a credit card on file or something like that. Yeah. But so I thought those were good.
What's that? There's some places that won't even charge you for the room. They'll let you be charged per person. So like our first 2 Christmas parties we had were at a local, basically a local Mexican restaurant, and they just charged us $10 a person. We had 30 people, so it was $300. So definitely check into your options, because that's not a bad option. You're only paying if people are there and per person. So.
This isn't a party. This is like when somebody closes on a house, 6 months later, they send a driver and they go to dinner, just to them and their spouse.
Okay, sorry about that.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
But even that idea, Sean, what you just said, I mean, like I'm thinking of a restaurant right now that we used to do some EXP lunch presentations there. It's a Mexican restaurant. They have a big room. They don't charge for the room.
Yeah.
And they'll do that where you can clear all the chairs and tables out, whatever, just set up a table like a taco bar kind of thing, and whatever, and just charge, that's what they would do. Probably like $10 a person, $12 a person. You invite 30, 40 people and just have a 2-hour thing. And I don't know, I'm just thinking there's ways you could do that around different kinds of events. Cinco de Mayo's coming up. I don't know. Even do something there with a client event at a Mexican restaurant,
Absolutely.
Just to pull some people together and have some fun on it,
Well, kind of backtracking what Kristen said, I do Reminder Media too. I send that out to about 100 people. And I've been doing that now for probably 1.5 years. The first magazine that I sent out to some of my past clients, I hadn't spoken to some of them in a while. And one of them, he said, "Your magazine is perfect timing. Good to hear from you. Great magazine. My brother and his wife are moving down from Chicago, and long story short, sold them $1.2 million house. And had I not sent that magazine, I guarantee I wouldn't have been top of mind, because I wasn't staying in touch with them. So that's just to the point, whether it be Reminder Media magazine or whatever, it's like being in front of the client, right? And reminding them that real estate's what we do. All right, any more around this topic? Oh, what's that?
Doran showing his magazine.
Oh, is that your magazine? Yeah, put it up to the screen. People can see it's a good quality magazine. Yeah.
Nice.
It's got your picture on there. You can personalize the letter every time in the inside. You can personalize it. And then there's 2 tear out cards, like Kristen was mentioning. You can make the tear out cards anything, you know, they've got recipes to pick from, gardening tips, just, you know, measurements, kitchen measurements, right? Things that you want to have people hang on the refrigerator or what have you. So it's really a good magazine, for sure.
David, what were we going to say about that?
The interesting thing that we did is we partnered up with a lender. So the lender pays a lot of the cost on the back cover. The other thing is on American Lifestyle magazine, the one we use, you can only send 1 to every residence. And so we partnered up with some lenders, and then that let us double the volume that we were able to push. So, you know, instead of 400 magazines, now we do 800. And so we do them every 3 weeks, I think, or every 2 months, maybe.
Yeah.
How much does it cost you?
I think we're down to $2 a magazine. Like it was when you crossed 750, the price break was pretty dramatic.
Yeah, like I'm at almost 100, and mine's about $4 a piece. They're not cheap, but they're good. You know, they're good quality magazines. So,
has anybody tried I know they've been hitting me up. They've got a new campaign on them that's under 75 cents for a postcard push for neighborhood.
I have not.
It's the same company, and they keep trying to get me to do it, but I haven't done that.
Yeah, I have not.
I have a question for David and Kathy on that. So Kathy, you said you've got 100. David's got 800. Are you doing it neighborhood, or are you taking your sphere of influence list and looking at everyone's address and specifically mailing to your sphere of influence of addresses?
Past clients for me. I just picked the top, 100 past clients. Now, every time moving forward, since I started a year and a half ago, anytime I close, I'll add the new people on there as well. So it's one at a time. But I just started with my past clients. I went through and handpicked those. And yeah, so that's what I did. What are you doing, David? Is it your past clients, or are you doing a farm? I mean, it'd be an expensive farm piece for sure. Sean, it would be.
I don't do farm. I don't do farm with it. I only do clients of a certain volume or that I think will grow. If I've got a client that it's their first time, a really, energetic young couple or something, then I'll put them in there. But, our general rule is, about 275 and higher is sort of where we do it. And then I was in the IT space previously, so I took all the sort of higher net worth people in my contact sphere and send to them. And I've got several listings off of it. So, it's been beneficial.
Yeah. Kristen, have you seen any return on that yet?
I haven't. I literally just started it a couple months ago, but I'm getting really good feedback from it. People are like, "Oh my gosh, I got your magazine. It's so fantastic."
Yeah.
And so it just opens the door for communication and building relationships. And at the end of the day, it always obviously leads to real estate somehow, but just opportunity to check in on people without seeking anything from them. And no, it's been really good. So
how many are you doing? How many are you sending?
Right now, I think I'm at about 80. And so I'm doing the same thing, just my sphere of past clients. And then as I close, I just add people on there, or I will add people, if I know they're going to buy eventually, I will put them in there just to make sure that, again, top of mind, and then doubling it up with some of my other stuff that I do. And it's good for top of mind stuff. I'm finding the feedback is good. Yeah.
The other thing that we do, I was looking for it, and I can't find it. We have a local magazine, like we call it the VIP magazine in Bowling Green, and you can advertise in there and it looks like an article. And so we did that one, and that was particularly nice because it looks like it's not a ad type of thing, but we do that, and then we do these at open houses. So we try to, again, I'm not trying to steal, if they come with an agent, but if they don't come with an agent to an open house, we want to deliver. So we're really bringing it to where they think we're the 800-pound gorilla when they come in there. We've got 4 or 5 magazines on the thing, and we do, they come in different covers. So, it looks like you're consistent because, we'll have, 3 or 4, versions of the magazine out. We give them something tangible to take with them. And then usually that is our call to action. To, usually the wife sort of starts looking through it and usually gravitates to one of the cooking pages pretty quick because that's, the main focus of them. Hey, just give me your information and we'll go ahead and put that in there and get you on the mailing list. And then we'll add them.
That's a great idea. I've not taken any of them to the open houses to have. So you take some of your past ones that just some of the other ones you've had yourself. You just take some of your past ones. So you got.
I do. That what you don't know is like on American Lifestyle, for example. I think I have about 750 that are going out to houses, and then I have about 50 come every month to the office that we use for that. We take them on every listing appointment. Of just. Again, we're going to work harder than everybody else out there. Hang on just a second. I'll get you one other thing.
Yeah, that's good. I've not taken them.
Like we do these. Like these are the most worthless thing ever. The door hangers type of thing. But when we do them, we take this to every listing appointment too. So when you're going to them, you're just providing credibility of, hey, we're very, very consistent of. We're going to market your stuff harder than everybody else. And you're just hoping that you have one piece of thing that somebody else doesn't have, just in the fact of, everybody else is, playing the same market.
So talking about those open house hangers, so you take that to your listing appointment and then when you do an open house, how many of those, I assume you're just doing them in the neighborhood there. How many of those are you and your team?
It's doing it. Like this one's in Gallatin, Tennessee that we're doing next weekend. We'll go do the first walking. We'll probably do 100, the first go out, and we'll probably do that this week. And then the week before on like Thursday, we'll probably do another 200. But Gallatin is a big neighborhood, and this is a pretty dense neighborhood. But what it does is it gets all the neighbors talking.
Is that Fairview Plantation?
Pretty close.
Yeah.
Pretty close to right there. And so the big thing is I really haven't got that many people at the event. I mean, I've got a few, but what it really turns in is to listing appointments just because they think I'm psycho.
Yeah.
Compared to all the other agents of, we're out walking. We don't pay people to do it. It's always the agent team going out there. There's always an agent. And it's just like, when is the last time you've seen another agent do this? This was pretty popular years ago, but, they sort of got away with it. And it's just, getting it there. And usually they're very aggressive. When you get to the door, they're very aggressive, negative. And so usually it's just open with a smile, being sincere and go, so you don't want me to get you a good neighbor, type of thing. I was just taking a little extra. Your neighborhood is so important to me because it's, my community. And I just wanted to make sure that you got a good neighbor instead of somebody bad. And just that difference of conversation usually gets them to back off and they're like, oh, well, I never thought of it that way. And, hey, just let me know if one of your friends is looking for something in the neighborhood or something. We just try that, work a lot of the other competitors for it. That little difference. I mean, I've got my best client off that. I think I did 6.5 million off them last year. Turned to be a pretty good commercial client as far as like house flipper, was just because I did that and nobody else did.
Nice. So you're actually knocking the doors. You're not just hanging those.
Correct. Yep. And like I said, be prepared for somebody to have a joke because they're going to come at you hard. they are not happy. And so, but again, once they see that you're sort of working, and I usually teach my kids hard work. So I'm usually have a kid in tow. And so they're going out there and, going and seeing what hard work is. And also, again, makes you credible, makes them, you're being sincere. Sincerity is one of the biggest things that people realize in life. And when you can show them that you're sincere trying to help them, that they're usually pretty nice.
Well, I like the line you use, oh, I'm sorry. I thought maybe you just want to pick your neighbor, and your neighbor means a lot to me. I mean, what are you going to say to that? No, I just want any old jerk moving in.
Yeah. And here's the thing, it opens a credibility of the neighborhood. Another thing that, you follow right up with that is, I just want to be an expert in this neighborhood. Is there anything you can tell me? Most of the neighbors will tell you every secret that's in the neighborhood. And it provides you as credible of that neighborhood so well. When they go to list, you get the listings. They've never seen another agent do that. Everybody calls me insane. They're like, you're just always working.
Mr. Doran.
Yeah.
It's just good activity. I enjoy it. Gets me to know the neighborhood, and I like doing it.
Joseph, you have a question?
Yeah, there is a time that I lost a listing because I went for a listing presentation with my child. And while we were talking, the child wandered off and started playing on these people's piano. And they were like, we cannot have this, kicked me out of there.
You probably don't want to take the real little children that don't know how to just, but I don't think he takes them on. I didn't get that he takes them on listing appointments. It's more just working hard, hanging door hangers, doing that type of work, not taking them on the listing. But yeah, right. That can definitely backfire, taking your kids to actual appointments.
Yeah, I wouldn't take them to a listing.
Especially if they're little.
But I'll tell you, again, they come at you pretty aggressive as far as negative. When they open the door, they are usually scalding mad, and having a younger kid in tow really diffuses the situation a lot. Yeah. And again, it's all about sincerity. When you're truly there and they can see it's a family event, you're there to help their community and their area, it's pretty hard to be mad at you. I mean, it really is. And so, it just helps. The other thing is, a lot of hands, make things easy. If you're going to walk, like this one, we're going to do 300 people. The walk 300 doors takes a while. Yeah. So, we'll take 3 or 4 agents, all pile up in a car. Everybody gets in there, does it for 45 minutes. It's over. You hit a lot of houses. You maybe talk to 10 or 15 people. And again, you just hit a neighborhood, got a lot of activity, and it doesn't take very long. If you
so
do
the people you talk to, do you put them on any kind of drip notifications?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. To the point of their, most of the time we have our admin at the office. And so we'll text the address to her. She'll go ahead and add them, do a follow-up, do a CMA that sends to them, put them on all that type of stuff. And so the agents can go really, really quick. They don't have to document it and pull them off that way.
Nice.
Good.
Paul had a question in the chat about Realtor.com. He said, is anyone using Realtor.com? And if so, what are you finding the ROI to be? Anybody using Realtor.com or Zillow, any of that right now?
Is that what you're talking about, Paul? Like just getting leads through Realtor.com, zip codes, that kind of stuff?
Well, yeah, I started with Realtor.com several years ago, and I hit it out of the park. I actually got a $1.5 million listing out of a lead that they were doing because somebody, another realtor had solicited them. And so they went back to the house that he was selling and they put in a request for more information. And I happened to call them back within 30 seconds and the rest was history. And, like I said, I've done a lot of business with Realtor.com. This last year, 0. And I'm just freaking out right now because I've been talking to them on a regular basis. They keep calling me, trying to get me to buy other zip codes and this, that, and the other. And I'm just going, or even add to the zip codes that I already have. And I'm like going, excuse me. I says, you got to understand that, I'm getting about 50% of what you guys are promising me as far as leads. I says, but then you call me and you want me to spend more. I says, one slot's not even generating. I just got a $3,000 credit because they didn't deliver in the zip codes. But I mean, that's where I'm looking at if there is some other lead generation. I understand Sphere is very, very important and everything else. But yeah, I'm really looking at seeing what other people are thinking, because in general, they've kind of even said, yeah, we're underperforming. And so I wanted to see if it was the same in any other markets, if anybody else was using them.
I'm not.
Anybody else using Realtor.com?
I'm not using them. Anybody?
It did way back when. It's been a long time.
Yeah.
Are you, David, using Realtor.com?
I have. I dropped them. I top all the lead stuff. The problem is the market's so saturated right now that if you're not on it in 30 seconds, it's sort of a done deal. And the problem with them is it's, again, going back to, my number one trick, or not trick, or skill set, or whatever you want to call it, is sincerity. And it is very hard to be sincere when you have the attention span of 20 seconds and you're the third person that's called them, text them. You can hear other people ringing in by your calling.
Yep.
It just, none of them I've found the work right now.
Yeah. What I feel like, and maybe, I'd love everyone else's opinion on this. Like, I feel like we were in a relationship business. Then all the technology started coming out, right? The Zillows and the Realtor.com several years back. And then a lot of us shifted to buying leads and doing all that. And so we became very, technology driven versus relationship driven. And now I feel like because our society has become that, people are starved for relationships again. And what I feel like has happened and happening is it's going back to the relationship. We hear that all the time. We actually mentioned that already today. It's like people are wanting connections and wanting so legitimate connections. And so I say all that to say, I feel like if I'm going to spend that kind of money that would be, required, especially in Nashville, because we're a saturated, big, metropolitan market. If I'm going to spend that money, I would rather just farm a whole area and community and just throw events. I would just want to throw 2 big events a year, even if they weren't my past clients. Just farm an area or a neighborhood and put on a couple of big events and start really building relationships, right?
You're so right. You were right, because that's exactly when I started out. I started in 16, and I immediately got with this guy, and he's out of Bentonville, Arkansas. Is Grant Wise, and it was called Modern Agent Mastery, and they taught you how to create your own Facebook ads. Calling through your office using their listing photos, and then you create this free, it's called a homes list. And I started doing that immediately. It took a little time to get some leverage, but back in that time, I was running 400, I was working 400 leads at a time. And it actually had 400 searches set up in the MLS. And my managing broker, he was like, you got to press the flesh, man. It'll never work. It'll never work. And I was just like, but I'm actually working with these. In like 6 months, all of a sudden, like a light switch, I did like almost 5 million in sales to people I never even knew. And when we were at the awards ceremony for Chairman's Club, this is when I was with Remax, not EXP. He looked over at the buffet and handed me my little trophy and says, well, I guess I'm not going to be able to eat any of that buffet because I'm too full of eating crow. Because he told me it'd never work. And I killed it, but then, like I said, and so I got really, and I got so busy to the point that I couldn't create those ads anymore. I was just too much work. And then that's when I bought Realtor.com. And like I said, even back then it was killer. But then this last several years, it's dried right up. So yeah, I just, like I said, I'm just taking the temperature out there. I'm beginning to believe 100% that it's more about, people don't want to get bombarded. At first it was novel, they'd press a button and 3 people would call them. They're like, holy crap, and they would tell me, that's weird, Paul, you just freaked me out, So, but yeah, I think it's more about now. I think content, I'm really studying hard on how to do really good organic YouTube and then start trying to do that kind of thing, because YouTube never goes away. And so you can you start building up that SEO, and it's more organic. They feel as though they're making their reach to you rather than you reaching out to them. And I think it's less intrusive.
Well, when was the last time, Paul, when was the last time you did like a client event, like past clients and like your sphere? Like
I have never.
So that might be a thought, because I will say every time we've done one, we've picked up business. If you're looking for something like right now, it might be something to consider. And honestly, as I just threw that out of it half an hour ago about the Cinco de Mayo thing, I'm like, well, I should go do this thing. Like, it just,
right.
So, because again, like here's this, I know the restaurant right down the street, and seriously, the room is free. And I know I could go in there right now. We've done events there before. I'm like, I just need to go get that room and put that together and invite 50 people and let them come over, and we pay $10 a head, and who cares? We did a Christmas thing at our house, and 6 weeks later had a closing from a couple that was at that house.
So that is funny you say that, because my absolute best customers were my very first listing, and then we sold their house and then moved them into new construction. And he's from Colombia. He's a citizen, and she's from Mexico. And they always invite us to come over and they have these family events at their house. And they've got tons of friends that show up. And now that you say that Cinco de Mayo idea is an awesome one.
It's a Friday, by the way.
I thought that was in March. I was like, I thought that passed. I just looked it up. It is May. Like,
well, Cinco de Mayo means 5th of May.
It's not Cinco de Marcho. It's Cinco de Mayo.
I posted this today on my Facebook. I'll give free advice for tacos, and I don't even know what Cinco de Mayo is. Whatever.
It's just a thought, because like I said, we had a Christmas party here at our house, and I sat down with this one couple. They're sitting at the dining room table, and they were talking about renewing their lease for the next year because of the rates. And I just showed them, like, I just had the thing on my phone. I said, let me just show you this. I saw this the other day, and showed them the difference in price with the rates. It was like $18 more that they're paying. I'm like, it's a great time to buy. Whatever, buyers are more in control now than they were, 6 months ago. And
absolutely.
Next thing you know, they're out looking at homes the next week, and we were under contract. And again, they were going to renew their lease. That was the plan. But here's what I'm saying. Every event we've ever done, we've picked up business from it, or referrals or something. You know what I mean? So if you've never done one, I would tell you to go back through your last, 6, 7, 8 years. If you have that database, and put on something.
Yep. Use the money and do that. And like we've been talking about, like, get your lender, your title people, you can get it really at zero cost.
Cheap.
I mean, you could, if you wanted to, get enough sponsors to have.
Lenders are hurting right now. They'll come in on it. Title companies, they'll come in on it. You get a couple people, give them 5 minutes to just, throw out their pitch to everybody. Hey, thanks everybody for coming. I'm so-and-so with XYZ Mortgage. Here's some of the things we do. I got some paperwork over here. I'd love to talk to you, whatever. If you know anybody looking to buy or sell, give the title company 5 minutes. You throw on the event, everybody, keep mingling around there. You're going to get business out of it, and it can be very cheap.
Yeah, I know. Lending, man, so many of those guys lost their jobs because of all they were doing is refi.
Yeah.
And they had
hurting right
full
now.
divisions. Oh God, who's going to refi right now? I mean,
yeah.
We
got about 5 minutes. I was actually going to open up, but I think that could go. I think we should save it. You had mentioned YouTube, and I thought, that would be a good topic to kind of adjust to, but I don't think we can do great justice in 5 minutes. So any other thoughts around what we've been talking about today? Either buying leads online or client events or staying in touch with past clients. Any final thoughts on that?
Definitely been some good stuff thrown out today.
Yeah.
David, I appreciate all the stuff you shared.
Yeah.
Both Sean's.
All y'all.
Yeah, definitely. Really good.
All y'all, that's plural for y'all, right?
All y'all.
The biggest that we've been, it was several of the Freedom meetings that I've got. I just got back from the Cabo event, and the consistency or the information that everybody is so scared about what's coming, and you need to be the leader of hope. And so, from just talking to them and go, hey, the world's not going to end. We have 42% of the GDP. It doesn't matter what your political affiliation is or what happens. Just being that person for information right now is so valuable. And just, hey, if you've got some concerns, let's talk about them, and getting that conversation started with them, and just being in front of them and being a friend. And if your clients, past clients, people just realize that you're a ray of hope right now, people will gravitate towards you. And that's sort of the consistent message I got from the Cabo trip, and just everything that I've been doing is just try to be consistent and try to be the person that provides the information.
Good.
Yeah, I agree with that. Besides that, since you just went to Cabo, I don't know if anybody else did, but share, because that's a great tip. And I agree with that. We can be the hope dealers instead. There's enough negative news out there. And so we can bring the positive, because in our industry, there's, a lot of positives still. But besides that, David, what's maybe the number one tip behind that you picked up at Cabo?
It's back to the basics. You know, I think the statistic was we were doing a deep dive in Brent's room, and it was just about you've got to go back to doing the work. It's 32 to 39 touches a year, and you've got to be putting that back in the work. We were so used to for the last couple of years that if you were the first guy on the spot, or you were quick about it, or you had the listing, it was just so fast. And now it's about being consistent and getting those touches in. From using your KV Core to mailing, all these great ideas that we had today. Just picking whatever your niche is and just committing to it and getting 32, 39 touches per client and going back where we're doing the work.
Nice, I love it.
Definitely.
Well, kind of wrapping up, if y'all weren't on last Tuesday's training with Aaron Ken about what he does prior to going into listing appointment, I'd encourage you to go back and watch that. It was fire. It was really, really good stuff. And so go back and watch that. And Jeff is coordinating with him. He's actually going to do probably a 3 to 4 part series on deep diving even more into that. There was so much value on that last call. We're like, we've got to break it down even further. And so we're going to be looking for that. It's probably going to start sometime
next Wednesday. We're getting we're shooting for next Wednesday. We'll get it out to everybody as soon as we know for sure.
Yeah.
But that's what we're shooting for.
So he does some really awesome, unique things, and he utilizes KV Core in a cool way. So what he did last week was really talking about what he does prior to walking into the listing. I guarantee he probably has 95% of the listing one before he walks in, and he talked, and a lot of times it sounds like he competes with listings. And so if you're competing with listings, all his stuff that he talked about last week was so good. So again, just encourage you guys to go back. And Jeff, we got about 1 minute. And so I want to talk about that coming up. And
for sure. One thing I want to throw out, guys, if you haven't been into the back office enterprise, if you're with EXP in the back office, and go to the marketing center, scroll down the page and click on the marketing center. They've really beefed that up. If you haven't been in there in a while, there's a ton of stuff in there. There's videos that you can, customize very simply, download it, post it. There's 12 months of newsletters that you can just set up into like a campaign in KV Core and automate. There's, customizable things. There's all kinds of stuff in there. Way more than what was in there. I was in there, it's been a long time. And when I got in there here a few weeks ago, I was just giving somebody a tour kind of through EXP. I was like, holy cow, there's a lot more in here than I realized. They've really beefed it up. So social media posts, there's all kinds of stuff in there. So, the door hangers that like what David had, there's templates in there, and you could do that if you want, and you could print them right from there, or get something to a printer. But tons of stuff in there. So just know that's there if you haven't been in there in a while. So anyway, but yeah, great stuff today. Paul, good luck with your Cinco de Mayo party. Look forward to hearing about it.
All right.
We're going to hold you accountable to that, Paul.
Yeah.
And Jeff too. And
yes,
Jeff
I got to go talk to my wife. I'll let her put it too. I'm just kidding.
It makes
we'll
me
get something
think,
together.
man, I know, I've been up there to one of your lunch and learns, Jeff, and y'all, that's a phenomenal room. I'm like thinking of all the Mexican restaurants around here. None of ours have private rooms like that. Like that what you've got up there, that setup would be a great.
Be a great place for it. Yeah.
So
are you basically just saying, with that, you just go to the Mexican restaurant, because they all do have those little rooms off to the side, and just tell them, hey, we want to set up like a taco bar or something like that?
Yeah, just find out what they would do. Hey, if we brought in, 40, 50 people here, on Cinco de Mayo on Friday from, whatever, 5 to 7, 6 to 8, 6 to 9, whatever, and we did something like, how could we work that out? How could we work something with you,
Yeah.
Okay. And again, now that might be a challenge. Some restaurants, that might be a challenging day because they get so packed.
Right.
So you could also do Thursday the 4th, and just, that's a good day for it. Anywhere right around there, you could do something,
So the pre-Cinco day, get ready party or whatever. Or,
but they'll work with you,
on that.
Yeah, they'll work with you. Maybe they all buy their, I don't know, you can work it out. I don't know. they buy their own drinks, but we provide all the food, you know, whatever. Or if you have a lender, I don't know, that could get expensive, the bar bill,
Yeah, no kidding.
you know, but
Or you could just limit it. You could have one drink, you know.
yeah,
so,
yeah,
you
give them
know,
all drink tickets.
we'll
They all
pay for
get
your first
one.
drink
We
ticket.
pay,
Yep.
yeah, there's ways to do that. So anyway,
Yep.
yeah,
That's
I'm
a
just
good
saying I'll probably go
idea.
down there and see what I can work out with them.
Yeah, that's a great idea. I need to find a place that has a private room here. That's a great idea. So, well, thank y'all for being here. Thank you everybody for participating and sharing your ideas, and just join us next Tuesday. We've got next week, Ann Senna's going to be with us, and she's going to be doing some live cold calls. She is the queen of cold calling. So if you do calling FSBOs or expireds or any of that, come listen as she does some live calls, and then we're going to do, you know, some dialogue in between those calls of for everybody that has questions on, you know, on how she's doing it, the things she says, how she overcomes the objections she gets. You'll hear those live. So join us next Tuesday for that.
Cool.
Okay.
Guys, thank you very much.
All right,
Always good
y'all
to see
have a good
everybody. Have a
day.
great week. Okay.
Bye, everybody. Great
Okay.
week.
Bye-bye.